Coming at you from Scratch and Wolf Studio. It's that time again to rage across the internet. It's your very favorite Little the Apocalypse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Porter. To my left, my co-host, Mr. Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
And to my right, the one and only Mr. Tommy Dixon.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you guys, gentlemen?
Great.
Tired.
Well,
I get that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Been a long week.
For most, I'm sure.
A lot of that going around these days. So we hope all of you are doing well out there.
Happy podcast day.
Happy podcast day. We're actually just coming off of our latest Backer Hangout night.
That's why I'm tired. It was a late one.
A little later than usual. The second feature was a bit longer than normal.
I missed it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
It's always a good time, though.
No, it is. It is. It was a nice turnout, too.
Oh, yeah. I love seeing when there's that many people who just want to watch a shitty movie.
Because you get to make fun of this shitty movie.
It happens.
time.
Yeah, but it's more of...
It's the camaraderie.
Exactly. The camaraderie. We get to all hang out and have some laughs, have some fun.
Have some beer.
I can neither confirm or deny what anyone does on their side of the...
I legally cannot say yes or no to these answers.
but it's definitely helpful sometimes.
When you're watching shitty movies, yes.
Yeah, depending on what's being shown.
Nick Cage noises.
That's always a fun time.
Oh, yeah. So if you want to have a fun time with us,
Is there a better way to say that, maybe?
Oh, boy.
if you want to have a good time too, nope, that's not any better, is it?
It's not.
There's not a good way to say it.
I don't know that it is. How about if that sounds like fun?
Much
You
better.
can join us over at our Discord, and join in on the Backer Hangout nights by becoming a backer. And you know how you do that?
Go into our
Ko-fi.
Ko-Fi.
That's right.
Kofi, Coffee, Ko-Fi.
ko-fi.com/.
/rage across the internet.
That's right.
Patreon, but better.
Yeah, we can do more stuff with it. Mm-hmm. You know, actually, we were talking, and I don't know when this is gonna happen because shit, we're just busy. But
It's coming soon.
right, but we were talking about maybe some of those NPC of the month in bundles.
Ah, yes.
You know, broken down by pack and things like that.
Okay.
In the store. So we already have the Guilty bundle from our Postmortem series.
Correct. Yeah, no, I know we were talking about this. I wasn't sure if we're going to start announcing it yet.
Well, I mean, I guess I just did, but I
There we
also
go.
didn't put a date on it. So,
Coming soon.
yeah,
And we'll leave it at that.
at some point.
So if it's something you're interested in, let us know. We can probably push it forward.
It's possible. It's a weird time of year. It's a busy
Right.
time of year.
Spring's here. It makes sense.
Yeah, we're doing our best, guys. We're here. We're bringing you the show, though.
Yes, we have a show to do.
And I think that's the worthier part, right?
No.
No,
No.
It depends on what day it is.
it's like it's the Rage Across the Internet bed sheets are more important than the actual show.
No. That blanket. The hooded blanket.
The hooded blanket.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, considering it got really, really warm, and it's like, man, I can get my windows down driving again, and then wake up to come here to record, and it's fucking snowing again.
Well, I think my question is why do you need a hooded blanket to drive?
I'm just forget it.
I mean, that was the implication, right, Tom?
Yes.
No,
Because I mean, you immediately led with, well, I'm driving in my car
with
from
the
hooded
windows
blanket.
down.
Right, from hooded blanket.
He likes the windows down even when it's 10 degrees out.
I think he thinks it makes him look like Emperor Palpatine.
I hate you both. Good night, everyone. I'll
not-
see you next week.
I'm not sure why the shriveled raisin face look is something he desires. But
Oh my god!
All
All
right.
right.
So we're here to do a show. What do we got on the docket?
yes, speaking of shriveled raisins,
Oh, okay.
today we are going to talk about.
How does that fit in as a segue?
I have no
I was
idea.
going to say, where are you going with this?
Absolutely nowhere with it.
All right.
We were just gonna pretend.
Speaking of shitstorms,
Yeah, so speaking of shriveled raisins, today we're here to talk about one of the most significant war fronts in the world of darkness. And that is, of course, the war for the Amazon.
Yes. Fucking cool.
I agree.
I thought he was going somewhere with that.
I don't know where else
We got
to
a
go.
weird energy today.
We do.
I've been saying it. So obviously the war of the Amazon, it's a big deal. You have, the Amazon rainforest and deforestation. There's plenty of material there to work with, and it's, you know, it's a dangerous place to be. It's a foreign battleground. You know, you have some Farah elements there. You have, of course, Pentex. You have the elements themselves. I mean, there's just a lot to unpack, a lot to work with, and a lot of cool shit going on there. So we wanted to talk about it. We have a show, so fucking...
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Hooray!
No, we just... Because I know we each had like a different section of the book that we're, you know, researching wise, but I was fascinated by the whole mystery, quote unquote, of the Amazon, and that's kind of why this is such a big deal, why everyone wants a part of this. You know, they were saying like the mysteries in the Amazon outside the reach of humankind, and everyone wants a piece of that, whether that's Pentex, whether that's just humans in general, whether that's Garu, whether it's other Farah, whether that's the wild, whether that's the worm. Everyone wants a piece of it.
I want some Amazon.
There's a callback.
Gobble, gobble, I'm gonna devour it.
There we go. I thought that part of the Amazon itself being untouched and everyone wants a piece of that's kind of makes it a little fascinating.
So everyone wants a piece of Gaia.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
I mean...
It's the heart of Gaia. Really. If you think about it, it's untouched. It's the heart of Gaia.
Not to be confused with the canceled game where everyone wanted to go to Karen.
Yes.
Yep. And because you fought Spirals, you are now known as Dances with Spirals.
All right.
That's a thing.
That is a bad name.
I didn't touch the game, so I wouldn't know.
Well, it never came out. But you can find all the cutscenes on YouTube because it was like 98% done.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know if it was, ultimately.
No, I think it was...
It's unfortunate the cutscenes are on YouTube.
That's a good laugh. Also, who's Karen? They keep talking about going to Karen.
Yep, we're going to go
Sometimes
see Karen.
the Karen.
Yep, the Karen.
The Karen. She was the first one. She'll call the cops on your ass.
Or more.
It's like on a heartbeat.
Anyway, Amazon.
Yeah, no, it's a hell of a battlefield, and you know it's
the front lines of the apocalypse, basically.
I think it's a great way to put that, and you know it's a way we go to talk about it though. I mean, obviously we went through Rage Amazon to do our research to you know, and I know I found a few things that I had misremembered and shit like that, which was kind of a bummer.
I know, because I like the way you had remembered it better. It actually makes it more fun.
I think so too. I think maybe I didn't plan on starting it this way, but fuck it. Seems like the right spot.
Roll with it.
Is, yeah, and I know how it happened. Because, like, I looked through, first you got to remember, is a Rage Amazon is a first edition book. Mm-hmm. Is an old fucking book.
We're going to say, one, it's old, so all that information has been there for a long time.
Right.
And very easily, stuff has changed over the years in other books, but... that and other people's headcanons as well.
Right.
Which I think is maybe that's where you're leading to.
No, what happened, and I can't prove this.
Okay.
But it makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. Is reading through it or, you know, skimming through it as I was at the time back in, you know, 1990 fucking whatever, which I'm sure is the last time I flipped through this book until, you know, recently. I had misunderstood the hierarchy of the Amazon. So when I read something like Crick Rumwrangler is a battle master,
you took it as, because you said it, he's the second in command.
Right. I have said on record before that was incorrect. Oops. But it makes sense that I read that and went, oh, well, obviously that's, you know, that's the Johnny on the spot. How could you possibly? Well, because you didn't read the whole thing. Is how.
Because you played an Amazon game and went off of somebody's headcanon.
And that happened as well.
Yeah.
Which was another thing that
I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah, probably. We'll get in that later. But speaking of that hierarchy, and this is where we can like start the show.
Sure. We'll jump around it. It works.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we know how we do. So Gogol's got there's a different hierarchy over in the Amazon. If you're not paying a lot of attention or just skimming it, it can be confusing, and you can like attribute a Bone Gnawer to a way higher station than he really had.
He's still got a pretty decent station, though.
No, it's true. And
we'll dig into that.
And I'll say in my head canon, fuck it. I think it's, you know, the guy's got his dues. He's got his respect. He's getting the promotion in our world.
That's fine.
You know, like this was a first edition book. He worked his way up since. Shut up. But
So the leader in the war front, if we're going the hierarchy, the very top of that.
Well, let me,
Okay.
because you're gonna fuck up my flow here.
Gotcha. All right. Apologies.
So, okay, you guys go to the Amazon, you enlist. Okay. And I'm saying, like, right now, Danny, Tom, you two, as your pack, as your characters, you go to the Amazon. You're a pack. You knew that already because you've been playing the game. Mm-hmm. But now there are 3 types of packs that are made for the Amazon. There's the war packs, there's the scouting packs, there's the guardian packs. But either way, you and 2 other packs make up what's called a warg.
Okay.
Right? So that's 3 packs equal a warg. The warg answers to a battle master. Those battle masters answer to a war leader who commands a moon, which consists of 3 wargs.
It keeps going. Hold on.
And that
I know.
Yeah, it leads us to a ward commanded by a war chieftain, which consists of a cairn and 2 moons.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Still going.
3 packs in a warg. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a lot of Garu.
Ultimately, yeah.
Yeah.
Who answers to the battle master, which is 3 wargs. 2 wrongs don't make a right, 3 rights make a left. This is how this works in the Amazon.
I mean, it works. It's better than just jumping in head first and getting slaughtered.
No, it's a hell of a hierarchy.
Yeah.
But it's something that's very different from the rest of the World of Darkness, from the rest of the Garu Nation. And so, if you're just skimming it,
Easy to make mistakes.
it's easy to make mistakes or get confused, especially like, you got, when we're using words like warg and ward.
Yeah, that's what threw me off a little bit.
And let's also say the moons. It's like I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's stupid. Mm-hmm. But when you're throwing moon around in a game of werewolves in a way that doesn't tie to Luna, or ward and warg, it can get confusing if you're not,
If you're not
like paying
focused,
attention.
if you're not paying attention, you can very easily lose focus.
Right.
And I can see where the hierarchy might change in other people's headcanons as well because of that same exact reasoning.
Well, and I think it's a good system. Like I appreciate the uniqueness of it, and then you've got of course you've got your war council,
Yeah.
and then Gogol himself, who heads the war council, who has a disproportionate amount of power. And I want to make that clear.
Well, rank 6.
Well, and it's something that I love about that system is that, they talked about in the book, and I'm not sure which one of you, because we divvied up the research, had gotten to it, but how Gogol, he comes in, he challenges, he takes charge, and like everyone has tried to take it from him.
He doesn't even challenge. He comes in and all of the Get are like, no, we are the first ones here. Gogol deserves this. And basically, but there was a thing is every other tribe that came
Every other tribe
fought him for it.
Yep,
They
and
came in and
lost.
said, no, we need to do this. And Gogol kicked every one of their asses.
Just mopped the fucking Amazon basin.
But that becomes the problem. When you look back at the history, the Garu were so enthralled with each other that Pentex decided to get bigger. So much infighting was happening that allowed Pentex to build that first facility.
So they're behind the scenes. Go, let them kill each other. That's fine. We'll take care of ourselves.
The Garu were so distracted with each other on who should be leading this that Pentex were like, okay, well, thanks for the easy build here because you were so busy with each other.
I wonder if that's how Carl's cairn got the facility built 5 feet away from it.
I wouldn't doubt it. There was just too much infighting.
Nobody noticed.
They drilled a tunnel through rock to make a road to that facility, and no one went like, that's weird.
But how badass is Gogol that he just kept getting challenged by every single tribal leader?
And that's
won.
exactly it. The guy is an absolute mad lad.
Yeah.
And then after, Pentex's facility went up, they went, okay, this is serious now. Gogol, you got it, but you have to have a war council of every single elder from a tribe.
Or at least everyone represented.
Right.
Because it's important to note, and I didn't spend a lot of time with it, because look.
There's,
but there is the War Council. Mm-hmm. And, you have, like, Leno Wings of Fire from the Black Furies, who is really, she's allegedly only there to gain glory in return to overthrow the leader. So she's gunning for Big G.
Mm-hmm. Good luck.
But she denies it whenever it's brought up and throws a challenge to everyone who brings it up.
Because you got to hush them up.
right? And like Garrett Faithful from the Children of Gaia, who he sees it as his duty to ensure that there's a, quote, superior Gaian fighting ideal enforced. A more kind of chivalrous kind of spin on warfare. And he's got a weirdo power.
Oh, yeah, because like being in the Amazon, this is very much guerrilla warfare.
Well, right, but that's not related to this thing. Like he's such a devout follower of Gaia that, and to go into Dracula's terms, he has a stat called True Faith, which is a Dracula thing, and I don't, to the best of my understanding of it, and I'm not asking anyone
Because you kind of don't care.
I don't care. So, like, I don't want Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday to be about people telling me about True Faith because I do not care.
Just make that clear real quick.
Please. Because I'm going to hear it from 12 people.
I know.
At least 12. And I know 6 of them right now. Fucking Charybdis don't.
He's gonna now.
He's going to twice. He'll make a new account under a different name.
Wouldn't put it past him.
Anyway, but yeah, he's got packs like pledged to this kind of chivalric code. It's like a Knights of Arthurian times, and actually they call themselves Gaia's Hand. But I mean, aside from this True Faith thing, it's like his faith in Gaia and his loyalty to her, like miraculous events can occur around him. You know, like he's such a true believer.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but okay. You know, it was very unique, so I had to take a second with it. But you got like Briogan dances in Clover, the Fianna, who is like devout in his faith in Golgol.
Which is
Fair.
awesome.
Yeah, it's like, hey, he's a super chill guy unless you talk shit about anything Golgol said,
Oh, okay.
That's good though.
right?
So like a brown noser a little bit. Got it.
He's a believer, man. He's like Whiplash. So what are you saying?
Oh, I've called Whiplash a brown noser.
I know Tom has.
Many times.
I've called him too. It doesn't mean I don't believe him in either.
All right.
Interesting enough, though, there's no Bonar on that council.
No, there isn't. And it's funny you bring that up because my next entry here
Oh, perfect.
is the Glasswalker Code Red.
Which is a great name.
Yeah,
That's
right?
a cool name.
Yeah, that's a cool name. who not only represents the Walkers but the Boatnars also.
Oh, okay.
And he's
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, the quote, the Nars trust him to look out for their interests as well. So he's doing double duty. But he's also provided the Gar with some of their most potent weapons and defenses in the war, like high-tech shit and electrical spirits that have confounded even Pentex.
Awesome.
It's kind of neat, right?
Yes.
You got Fierce Hunger is the Red Talon rep.
I was going to say that's got to be a red talon.
Yeah, so again, like the name. Happy
Yeah.
with that fucking name. Last one out is the Lupus Shadow Lord, Horus the Sword, not Shoe Horus. You can tell because I finished the name. I didn't have to take a break.
Every episode, I swear.
You know, it keeps coming up. It's like my second favorite tribe, too.
I
So it's,
get it.
you know. Maria
You
Orlano.
finished the line, so you know it's not.
Yeah. Maria Orlano from the Silver Fangs. Owino walks the Ertz, which was one of the very few stargazers. And by the way, is a Kailindo master
Yes, he is. Fucking cool.
who will teach the art to any cub she believes can learn it. Very few can. But that's kind of neat that she's got her own little Cobra Kai dojo there in the Amazon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai never die, people. And then Cavallo, the Octina council member, Octana, who's Tina.
I still do it
I don't know
too.
who. Yeah, but that's why I call myself out on it. Though.
I know.
There's no Tina here.
I know.
It's the Octana. And then argues with anger, the Wendigo council member,
That's got to be a Wendigo.
who came to the Amazon to exact her vengeance against Pentex. Her advice is tainted with this anger, and few council members take her seriously anymore.
Oh.
Wow. You know, speaking of Ictena, they were the first to actually discover the rainforest.
I knew that.
Did you?
I did.
Did you read it? It's in
No,
the
you
book.
told me earlier.
It's in the book. They were the first of the Garu to discover it, actually. because two of their changing breeds were the ones that found it first when they were escaping the War of Rage. Gaia led them there
Personally,
with visions and stuff. Obviously,
that makes more sense.
right. The Macaulay and the Balam.
Who are Bastet?
Bastet, but
Where you
a tribe of Bastet, the Were Jaguars.
Jaguar?
We had a conversation. I'm specifically not allowed to say Bastet.
There's so many
Bastet.
tribes. Come on. It's specifically the Were Jaguars. Specifically.
Just specifically the Blam. You know what's interesting? And this kind of freaked me out when I read it. Because look at us jump around.
That's fine.
That's what we
Yeah.
do.
They actually talk numbers in this book,
They do.
which is something they aggressively don't. Like they avoid that shit throughout Apocalypse. Because it's, there's not a fucking Garu census board. And, how bleak is your game? That is related to how
I
many
was gonna say,
Garu there
yeah,
are.
that's because they leave that up to
Right.
storytellers.
But in Rage Amazon, they actually talk numbers. In fact, they say the war started with about 190 Garu. Which is
It's a
sizable.
decent- yeah, that's sizable.
yeah,
But in this freaked me the fuck out.
How little are left?
No, not that. How little of the changing breeds.
Oh, right.
The Balam, it's quoted that throughout the whole Amazon basin, there are about 22 Balam.
Left.
But they are separated from each other and tend to ignore the war. 22.
now is that because they're trying to survive and like, hey, it's not safety in numbers right now because if they find us,
Well,
they're
they're
finding
best
all of
at,
us.
so safety in numbers numbers isn't a thing they do.
That's true.
They're not like, hey, let's team up, buddy. Other Bastet,
Yeah.
other Balam specifically, because I'm not supposed to be saying Bastet today.
You say whatever you want.
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking with you. They're not like, hey, let's buddy up and like go to the mall together and find a neat scratching post. That's not how that works. They're like, we're Bastet. Get the fuck away from me. But 22 in the whole region. And then what really fucks with me is the Macaulay. Make sure I get this number. No, I want to make sure. There are about 33 Macaulay in the entire Amazon basin, gathered into 7 family groups.
Jeez.
Wow.
So there are more of them than that freaks me out. That doesn't seem right to me.
And that was
This is first edition.
first edition, so imagine
The
how
numbers-
much farther it's gone.
Or
And
more or less, or just changed because retcons happen. But to have those hard numbers in a book, in a werewolf book at all, is strange. And to see that, I would have thought those numbers were way higher for the changing breeds.
And pulling into more history on that, the Macaulay didn't get pulled into this war until Pentex started drilling for oil. And when they started to expand after their first, their first building they made there.
Well, at that point, that's a different subsidiary. And
Right. It was Endron.
There's a few that are there.
But when they were drilling for oil, they had a spill.
No shit.
And they were like, whatever. They told the government we'll send people to clean it up, and they sent like a 10-man crew.
With like sponges.
Like basically you guys are set up to fail, but hey, we're showing that we're doing something because
Right.
they aggressively didn't care because they want the rainforest gone.
Right, of course.
So all that oil actually started seeping down the basin and into Macaulay habitats.
that makes more sense.
Guess
now.
what happened? Macaulay raged out
I better
and
believe it.
destroyed them.
Sure,
That's what brought them. That's what brought them into the war.
And what's funny is through, again, and it's because we both researched the same fucking book, just different sections of the book to make our lives easier, is that it said that the Macaulay are somewhat confused about the issues involved in the war, but they realize Pentex is bad.
Well, especially when
quote.
the oil was going into and destroying their young, like was destroying their habitats and their babies.
And there are some that have been, quote, considering an alliance with the Garu, but are unsure how to approach them and are secretly hoping that the Garu will approach the Macaulay first. But I'm sure that's...
The Garu won't.
No.
According to the history, the Garu's like, nah, we're going to leave them alone. We don't want to touch that. These guys are angry.
I mean, you can see why, right? War of Rage.
Well, they got to deal with Pentex. I mean, that's their number one priority.
that too. That was the next point. Is
That and the Balam are still fighting the Garu too.
that was also the next point. There are still some of the Balal who are in on the war effort. Some.
And this becomes an evolution thing as time goes on.
Yes.
Because, as things get started, we got the Garu on Garu conflict down there, the dick measuring. And once Gogol finally whipped it out and everyone shut up, that got solved. I think there's which one you did the geography?
I did.
There's a section there, right? There's a little crater where when he pulled that out, it's like a big old trench.
Well, that's
And that's where the first cairn was made.
Oh boy!
But so after that hurdle, it's the
It's a big hurdle.
see what you said.
Oh boy!
It's a lake there now.
Oh my god!
You got the conflict with the Bastet and Pentax and all the different shit, and then there is a shift in that where Gogol, and I'm not giving this all to him because there are a lot of other factors, a lot of other people, but to where you start reaching out and trying to make peace, or at least if not peace, alliance.
Well, because they kind of have to, because not only are they fighting Pentax, they still have Balaam fighting them.
Right.
With guerrilla warfare tactics just popping up and trying to destroy Garu.
No, exactly. But I think it's worth mentioning. And especially Gogol's a Geta Fenris, because the Geta Fenris get a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. That he's the one who goes, yeah, maybe we should. I mean, we should try to fucking focus this madness and fight these guys in just.
Only.
Right. Maybe, hey, Balaam, I hate you. And you suck.
But understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
here.
but like we're all
for Gaia.
Yeah, we're all on the same side here, which to different degrees of success. But I think it's worth mentioning that not only it's important, and it was a Geta Fenris who. So there.
The Amazonian Ectena. So obviously they came down, they saw the rainforest, saw what it could give them, but they kept moving because they were traveling. They were trying to find a home. Some of their kinfolk were like, nah, this is too nice. We're staying here. So they stayed. Many, 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 many years pass. The Garu legends are legends in there. They forget about Garu. They're just legends to them. 3 of them breed true. These become the Amazonian Ectena. But the kinfolk didn't know what to do because it was all legends to them. So they actually call on the Balaam and go, what do we do?
But,
the Balaam actually raised these cubs.
The Ectena.
The Ectena, these 3 Amazonian Ectena. They raised them.
Interesting.
They called it an experiment to see if Garu were selfish, stingy, and arrogant by nature or by nurture.
Dicks.
And actually 2 of them showed promise. One was still a dick. They named them in the book. I didn't write the names down. Go read the book, guys. It's a good book. And once, they raised them enough, they actually took them up to one of the Ectena seps way up in the Mayan ruins. Or they weren't ruins at the time, but the Mayans. And they stayed there and got raised by Ectena. But eventually got called back home because they missed the rainforest. But that is the start of the Amazonian Ectena.
That's weird and cool.
That's kind of neat. And this is not, it's only sort of related. You made me think about it. Like if you summon Ectena in the rainforest, is his body like slowly evaporating? It's like a little mist coming off him because of the climate.
Maybe. Maybe that's why they didn't stay.
It's really humid down there. I don't know.
It's a really stupid question, but being accustomed to hearing dumb shit, this must be your first episode. Welcome.
Yeah.
I hope you stay. It only gets worse. Or better.
Or it depends.
Yeah, better perspective.
Depends on how you feel about what you're hearing right now.
Now, before Pentax moved in, there was a lot of people trying to explore the Amazon rainforest.
Oh, sure.
Tons.
Well, it just goes back to like the mysteries of the Amazon I was saying.
Very big mysteries. And the biggest one that drew everyone there was the City of Gold.
El Dorado.
El Dorado's the king, actually. That's actually a person.
That's a rage card, too.
Really?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, nice.
Prove it. Kidding.
Okay.
I mean,
After the show?
I was going to say after the show,
after
because
the
there are
show.
the cards right there.
Over yonder.
It's right there. I just see the 2 packs of cards.
And obviously the City of Gold got lost due to techromancers.
Really?
Yes. The biggest threat to the Amazon prior to Pentax was techromancers.
Fucking mages, always romancing the tech.
They were powerful, obviously powerful magicians who sought to make the world conform to their will. And by doing this, they wanted to expose the supernatural. So they're the bad guys, we're the good guys, because we're exposing the supernatural. That was their way of doing this. So as they mapped out the Amazon to try to locate the City of Gold and El Dorado, who was actually a shaman.
You actually didn't know anything about him. I just
thought that was the name.
Well, I had the card of the guy, so it's, the association. Plus, I got to go El Dorado.
El Dorado. So only one being was strong enough to challenge the Techromancers during they call it the Age of Discovery, when the Techromancers are trying to map out the City of Gold to wipe it from existence. And that's El Dorado, a native dream speaker, mage, and king of the City of Gold. Now, the Macaulay and the Balam assisted El Dorado, along with the greatest of his allies, the Black Fury Amazons. And although El Dorado was a man, he was unlike the European men the Furies hated because of what they were trying to do to the rainforest.
Right.
So he was a worthy man that the Furies could support, which says a lot.
No, it really does.
Yeah, I was going to say that's...
It makes him kind of like a unicorn.
Right? But unfortunately...
Or a Pegasus.
Or Pegasus.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the fight was lost. The Techromancers did manage to map out the City of Gold, and it disappeared to the Umbra into its own pocket realm with no connections to anything anymore.
Because they did that, or it just happened?
They did that. Their magic was strong enough that they did that. They did it so good that they couldn't even get to it anymore.
Nice job.
Right.
Bummer.
They did their job so well that they couldn't even finish destroying it.
Go back to pulling Lepics out of hats, guys.
El Dorado's not out, though. He does manage to get into the dreams of man. And another explorer comes down, finds his way, and gets that one little outlet to El Dorado, to the City of Gold, but is forced to stay there, so that can't be found. But it's allowing him to have his way back into the earth, into helping, but he doesn't know what to do now with the war. He doesn't know which side to take, what to do, so he's just kind of biding his time.
That's pretty neat.
But he now has a way back in that nobody knows about.
Okay.
This is pre-Pentex.
Right, which is kind of funny because it's each chapter at this point, they're almost contradicting itself. Because, there's a part in there, now this is more of the Umbrascape and the spirit world of the Amazon, but they have a hard time mapping that out. It's nearly impossible. Spirit world cannot really be mapped. It's necessary for the Thurges to try, but it's near impossible due to the native of what the wild is doing in the Amazon itself. Because in the Umbra, all that, it's still wild controlled. So it's chaotic, but it's vivid, and it's colorful, and it's great. That's what you want. But there are still spots where spiral dancers or even just Banes themselves are corrupting areas that's like scorched earth now. And some of those really cool spirits that are around that are keeping that alive, those are corrupt too. So now those are Banes. But because of that, they have a hard time mapping the area.
Well, yeah, I think, any attempt to
map anything in the Umbra.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. It's not going to go well. I mean, you look at the various maps of the Umbra that exist throughout the various World of Darkness books, and
Very
it's all
vague.
Yeah, it's all conceptual.
Yeah.
It's not like turn right here, here's a mountain range, because that shit's not going to work already.
Left at Albuquerque.
Right. But somewhere so wild saturated, like you're pointing out, Danny. Yeah, that's just a really dumb idea. I want to know, I want to speak to the manager of the person who's trying to do that, because that guy needs another job.
But at the same time, it might be near impossible, but it's also necessary for the war effort. And that's what...
Oh, I get that, but it's just so hard to map the Umbra.
Exactly, and that's why they say near impossible at this point.
Yeah, and shit's herding cats at best.
Yeah. They shouldn't have to do it, but they kind of have to do it. It's an evil necessity, I guess. It's weird. It was just, it's like I said, almost contradicting itself from one chapter to another.
Yeah, there are sections that...
It does that.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is also first edition.
Right. You know, and I think at that point there
It's
was
the fresh ideas.
Right. I was about to say, yeah, there's this glut of fresh ideas and
Just throw it all in there and let storytellers take what they want,
sure.
which I like.
No, I don't got a problem with it per se.
I almost see like the different writers. This writer had this chapter. This writer had that chapter.
And maybe they didn't coordinate. Maybe, yeah, I think it's entirely possible.
But if you guys want, we could jump to modern times now. I got a little bit here.
But again, we're going back and forth at this point.
Right. Well, I mean, that was pretty much all pre-Pentex. Now I'm done with that.
Yeah, right. I get it.
We could switch to modern times on when Pentex came in, all due to, in 1985, the Brazilian government was overthrown by the people. And now the new government that was put in place, they signed a treaty that allowed foreign corporations into the country, especially those of American origin. Dun, dun, dun.
Stupid Americans.
Bring on Pentex and their forestry operations. That was the first one that came in.
Yes, Developers Forestry Group.
DFG, yep.
Yep. Because, and I mean, let's remind everybody, despite what you see in some art throughout the books, there are not vans that say Pentex on the side. No one is writing on Pentex stationery. They're not drinking from the Pentex coffee mug. Pentex is a secret.
I want a Pentex coffee mug.
You know, they actually did make a Pentex polo shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back in the day. I had a friend who had
That's
one.
funny.
Let's see, I've seen like a picture of that.
Yeah, I had a buddy who had one. He'd wear that shit to school.
Yeah, but like how many people actually knew about it?
Well, right. It just had the little Pentex logo, like over the nipple or whatever, like all those other polo shirts, the little logo.
So now that they came in, huh? And they came straight in for destruction.
Yeah.
They literally did. They took over their first tribal area. One of the local tribes took it over, used that as their base of operations as they started clearing out an area for them to build their true facility, and got noticed. They got noticed by the Black Frost Pack.
Well, let's kind of backtrack a little bit because the area they took over, again, the DFG, that's that first area, right? That was a den realm of a Balam.
Oh, really?
It was a were-jaguar, yep. But that were-jaguar has been since corrupted by Baines and only cares about staying in her area. That's it. Does not even remember being of Gaia. It's kind of a big deal.
Well, yeah, they just gained more power.
I mean,
Pentex did.
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
Yeah, because not only are Garu attacking this, so are were-jaguars. So that's what I meant by earlier when they're part of that war effort too sometimes.
Sometimes.
But sometimes they're just doing it on their own, which can very easily screw up the effort.
Well, it all depends on what time of the war you're talking about, because there's certain spots where Garu took over Den realms, and they got pissed, and that's why they're fighting with Garu.
That too, right.
And, those den realms, I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, we only did the little overview,
right.
Back when, the litter box episode or what have you. But, a den realm it's a big deal. It's a sacred thing. It's important.
It's their cairns, I mean.
Yeah. This isn't, we're not arguing over spilt milk here. This is significant.
How many cat jokes can you fit in a sentence? Jeez.
Have you met me?
But that Black Frost Pack.
Yes.
This was the first to fall.
You're a pack of Get.
Pack of Get, and they were the first to fall in this Amazon war effort. This was the start of the war.
But we know what happened to that particular area because, the forces of Pentex, if you will, DFJ, moved on.
They built their facility and moved into that facility.
Right. So what happened to that land?
Well, that's considered hallowed ground now. That is now what they call Ranch Apocalypse.
Such a cool name.
It is badass.
Like Hidden Valley Ranch.
Like that alley-oop, by the way. Yeah, I ignored your thing.
I know you did. Thanks.
This is kind of like, how do I put this? It's what the book, right directly, it's the major base camp of Garu assault activity.
Which makes sense. It's the closest to the headquarters.
Right. But Pentex doesn't know it exists. Like, they know it exists. They know that area was there, but they were there before.
Why would you put a forward base somewhere so obvious that we know is there? And that's the genius of it.
That is the genius of it. Put it right under their nose.
Yep.
Follow your nose.
A couple things that keep this place secret. for Gogol and the rest of the Garou and the rest of their war effort. No injured Garou is allowed to return. You are either to flee to the jungle and heal, or you keep fighting, even if that means you die. It helps with, scouts.
Rule number 1.
Yeah.
Fight Club, come on.
Well, that's not what
We don't talk about
is.
that. We don't talk about that forward base.
And there's a bunch of other, packs or even just, it's groups of Garou. They'll set up, mock camps and mock bases to fake out, Pentex scouts. So, that's where their base is. But no, they were only there temporary just to fool,
Oh.
the reconnaissance teams.
They had to do this because when they first initially started the war, we were losing people left and right.
Right, well, the forces of Pentex and the amount of resources they had.
Well, it's not only that, it was our battle tactics before. This was prior to Gogol actually gaining, obviously.
Before the crater.
Yes, before the big crater happened. When it was just, when that first pack fell, they had, so the kinfolk, obviously they didn't come back, not the kinfolk, the elders, when they noticed that first pack didn't come back from that scouting mission, they held a war moot.
Yes.
And when they held that war moot, they invited all tribes to discuss the best course of action on what we need to do here. And that's when Gogol did take charge. But at first they were just sending people out just to try to take it back. And we were just, the first teams were just killing them off left and right.
Well, and it's something it's worth bringing up is, part of the reason that Gogol had made such a difference, after the moment.
He organized everything.
Well, right, because he had he participated, he fought in Nam for fun.
He was born
For fun.
He was born in World War II.
Yes, he was.
I remember reading that part. It was his mother was in the middle of battle.
Yeah, she stopped fighting long enough to pop him out.
Just to pop him out and
went
then
right back to
continue fighting.
Yep.
That is badass.
Well, and in our canon, Gogol is a baby. He interacted with the elders of your home sept.
Really?
No, I remember that.
Yeah, because
Remember you
again,
telling me.
Gogol born on that battlefield, so you got to do something with the infant. So at one point, the pack, your elders, who also fought in World War II, had held that baby through the chain to get him to safety. Just like a random coincidence. It's not like, hey, we're old buddies because.
Yeah, it works out though.
Yeah.
No, it was saying in there that the pack that took in Gogol, because now his mother's dead, she went down in a blaze of glory. The pack that took him in. But yeah, I can see that, the exchanging of hands kind of thing.
Right,
that pack.
Someone's got to hold this kid for 5 minutes while we're getting shot at.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't a thing.
Right.
It
Going
wasn't
from
a,
pack to pack to pack until we get them to a safe care or something.
right.
It was a quick crossover.
Hold this for a minute.
Hold this.
Playing football with the baby.
Basically.
Go long.
Well, in side note, because, hey, that's what we do.
Sure.
In the Virginia games, I took a hiatus from storytelling and got to play for a bit for a little 6-story thing that happened to take place in the Amazon. I didn't write it, but it was, one of my players wanted to try his hand at storytelling. I helped him out a bit,
Sure.
advice here and there. But, this little 6-parter in the Amazon. The leader of that pack, the Sleight of Claw, Vadoma, and I think I've told this story before,
Probably.
went to Gogol because they were there for a specific thing, and they got the thing. And now it's time to go. Well, you can't just leave. That's called desertion. And there are packs dedicated to hunting your ass down. And so to leave, she traded on the name of a particular God Elder from that sept. The character, the Xylo. She tried to trade it on his name. It's like, oh, well, it's one of his pack. And Gogol looks at her and goes, really? And the fun thing is I got to play Gogol for this scene.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got to play him. Because, obviously I didn't have a permanent character. I was just, it's like, I've heard rumors. I heard he saw his time was coming. Gaia sent him a sign and he went down to the closest black spiral pit and killed everyone in there. I heard that he died of old age. I heard that he died killing 100 Femori. I've heard all these different fucking rumors. What happened?
And she wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't show up at that sept until a chronicle after the character died. She never met him. She never bothered to ask.
Threw down a name that she knew nothing about.
Right? It's like, he held me as a baby. I've heard that story. So I'm very curious as to what really happened to this guy.
Oops.
Careful when you name drop.
Yeah, we learned that too. Learned that firsthand.
But just, by coincidence, I kind of love that,
Oh, no, it's cool headcanon at that point.
And it's something that doesn't harm the overall canon.
Right.
It's like, oh, you held a baby once. That's significant. But it's a small anecdote in the life of a character.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, that's kind of a neat piece of trivia. I want to know more about this. Oops. But speaking of packs in the Amazon.
Yeah, okay, because we just mentioned the Black Frost pack who were slain,
Right.
which kind of started this whole effort.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, it was a first team of Fomori just wiped them the fuck out.
Yeah, read that story. If you guys pick up the book, it's very vivid. It's right at the beginning.
Yeah, and definitely just pick up the book. I mean, you ask which werewolf books you should pick up. All is the answer.
Yeah.
All of them.
That's cool.
But no, we talk about, you're talking about packs. We have like a bunch of them out there. But I think two of the most significant that I'd like to talk about for a second, the Pack of the Severed Arm, who are fucking great. They're badass, but also they are featured in the novel Breathe Deeply, which is a tie-in to the Rage card game, but that's not, it's the werewolf card game, so it's all in the family anyway. Breathe Deeply is it's a short read. It's a small book already and is a small book, like in page count and in size.
Gotcha.
So it's a quick read. But it's a lot of fun. It's a good read. It deals specifically with the War of the Amazon and the Severed Arm pack and an outside your POV character who comes to the Amazon. I don't want to give anything away about it, but that's where I think, at least for me, I first met this pack, and here they are. They're detailed in a Rage Across the Amazon. They also have rage cards.
The entire pack has rage cards.
I know most of them do. I don't think that Brennan does, or if he does, I just never came across it and don't know about it. But yeah, you've got your alpha Russian one arm.
Awesome.
All right. Who is a Silver Fang, and like probably my favorite Silver Fang by a fucking mile. This guy is awesome as hell.
You're Ragabash too?
He is.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
I like that description. He fetished the severed arm and uses it as a club.
Yes.
He managed to save it in Krynos form. Yeah, that was cool.
That's his fucking weapon.
Dude's awesome as hell. And then you got the Fianna Brennan, you've got Steps Lightly, the Sound Strider, Windrunner, the Octena. I'm just going to count Peter Ward of the Glasswalkers, who's the POV character.
Okay.
Breathe Deeply. It's a good read. If you can get your hands on it, do it. It's worth it. It gives a good look at the Amazon. It's just a good time. But that's a fucking awesome pack right there. And you can learn more about them. So fucking please do that.
So they named the pack, the one-armed pack, after their leader who only has one arm.
Oh, the Pack of the Severed Arm. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Pack of the severed arm. I mean,
he has that arm.
Yeah.
It's just a club now. That's just awesome.
Right?
it's badass.
I beat you to death with my severed arm.
Quit hitting yourself.
Quit hitting myself.
Quit hitting myself.
What?
So Mr. Geography over there.
Yeah.
What are these? What's the main areas there? I know they have like 3 seps.
Well, I mean, one, you had Ranch Apocalypse, and that's, like I said, that's like your...
Well, that's different. Those are the forward bases.
Right.
They do have 3 main hubs
Yes,
down
3
there.
actual cairns.
3
down there.
actual cairns.
Yes. Well, there's the Hollow Heart Cairn.
That's the main base of
That's
operations.
your primary base of operations.
Everybody
That's,
comes in, all
yep.
your new recruits, all of that. Mm-hmm. Gogol and the War Council is there, correct?
Correct. You have the Sky River Cairn. That area was set up specifically to protect from the Hell's Hand Hive.
And this is the, northern part of the Amazon, I think?
I mean, I didn't write that part down. I'm sure I can look it up, but
it's the
something like
northern
that.
part.
So there's a hive who's constantly attacking them too, but like that area, that cairn is specifically set up to protect from that. But they also send raiding parties against the different Pentex labs. And then you have the Cairn of the Rain Spirits, and that was a small Octena cairn, but it's barely holding on. It was one of the very first cairns there, and it was because it was one of the first, it's constantly being attacked, and it was one of their very first targets, Pentex, one of their very first targets. But they use elemental spirits, specifically rain spirits, kind of like for protection.
Makes sense.
Their totem, King Thunder. How fucking cool
Not
is that?
Grandfather
No,
Thunder.
not to be confused with Grandfather Thunder.
No,
Oh.
King Thunder. So his protege.
Why not?
I mean, sure.
No, one thing I always found interesting is that these are multi-tribe seps.
All of them, yes.
Yeah, and like I mean, it kind of has to be at this
Well,
point.
yeah, because you're only winning that war being united down there.
It's true.
That the infighting can't happen anymore.
Well, and ever since the crater fall, it certainly doesn't.
Right.
And you say that, and it's cool, and it makes sense, and then it brings me to a specific character, Jorgen Krieg.
Ooh, tell me about Jorgen Krieg.
I mean, he's a badass character, but like, he's not there like most people are. I mean, he's not there for the same reasons most.
Like
most of
mentally
them are.
there?
Yes.
Okay.
For as high rank as he is, he's not in it for the glory. He does not give a shit about glory. The war effort and winning the war is the only thing on this guy's mind. He's there to help new packs, send them where they need to go, where he gets a ton of glory but does not give a shit about it. I just thought that was really cool. It like, and again, this is a first edition book, so like the glory points and stuff.
Yeah, it's like 100,000.
110,000
Oh, yeah.
points. I'm like, what the fuck?
I was confused when I was looking at them. Like, what is that?
I mean,
a
it's
different
hilarious,
ranking
but like,
system.
where he is at that, and he doesn't care. That is
Good.
not what he's there for.
That's
Well, bigger
that's-
fish.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
bigger fish to fry than worrying about your glory.
And again, this is a get we're talking about. So it doesn't surprise me as much. The war's more important.
yes.
The battle is more important. That's great to hear about because again, you get a lot of that going the other way, or a misunderstanding, or a general people just they've heard things so
Yes.
they don't like the get. When it's perfectly in line for the get offenders to go, this is more important. The mission is more important,
Correct.
and so it's great to see that.
It was the way they were, portraying it for this one character was just like, holy shit.
Jorgen's pretty awesome. Of course, so is Crick.
Which I wrote up a little bit on, Crick.
Crick Rum Wrangler.
That's a great name.
It's also kind of a tongue twister.
It is. But this guy, he's your Philodox Monar. Lupus, too. He's actually a battle master in charge of the warg which defends the Sky River Cairn. He actually keeps himself well groomed so others like him. So, I mean, being a Bonar and he's well groomed.
Right, like he understands that he's in a pretty big position, and he's
Right.
dressing for the job he wants, not the job he has.
There we go.
And he takes things slow and easy. He's not widely respected due to his heritage. He commands with a sense of caution because someone is always criticizing him. Now, Crick
For
is
being a Bonar.
For being a Bonar, of course.
But it's important to mention he commands.
He commands.
He is in a position of authority here, and that's fucking
That's awesome.
right.
Now, Crick is quiet, but will not allow himself to be pushed too far. When that happens, his competency as a warrior becomes obvious. He tries his best to meet the needs of those who serve under him, though. Guy's awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean I know I accidentally elevated his position, but again in our world, I'm keeping it there.
I'm fine with
He
it.
got promoted. This guy Crick's awesome. Fuck all that.
It just, the best boss is the one you're going to respect.
Now, what about the most important man in the Amazon?
But I think we have talked about Gogol.
Oh, I didn't know if you had any more on him.
Well, I mean, the guy's an absolute man, badass. Like I said, he, we talked about World War II, played in Vietnam,
Dude is 7 foot tall,
rank 6.
rank 6, 14 foot in Crino or 11 foot in
Something like
Crino.
that.
Dude,
Something
he's
stupid like that,
He's just the shit.
just a massive guy.
I think, I don't know this, don't quote me on this. I know at least for me he was, but I think he was the first rank 6 Garu presented in the canon.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, he was the first one I knew about, but I think
First
he's the
edition
first
books.
one,
I mean,
right? I mean, there's not a lot of them already, but I think he was the first one
what about Mother Larissa?
who's not actually rank 6.
No, oh, okay.
She is in our game, but she's not actually rank 6.
Oh,
At least as
See,
of Words of the
head canon.
Apocalypse.
There we go. Because I know she's rank 6 in our game.
Yeah. At the time of Warriors of the Apocalypse, she was not.
interesting. But I can see why we would make her in our game.
God, I hope that's right now.
Oh, call him out if it's not.
Fuck. You know, Larissa in the real game is like rank 4, but I had promoted her since because she's fucking awesome.
She really is. I mean, go look at that rage card.
That's it. That's the reason.
Yeah, I know.
That's the reason.
That's the fucking qualifier for me. That card was so cool that
cool
she
with
got
it.
promoted. You know, it's funny too is it's the only where that art looks like that. Mm-hmm. So like if you look in W20 in the comic, she's there, but she's just like looks like a regular person.
She looks way better as a rage card.
Yeah, and so it's like, who's this lady? Who's this fucking stand-in? And then if you check like the Bonar Tribe book, there's another completely different image of her,
Oh, Jesus.
and it's I want to call it Pennywise-esque.
Oh, really?
that
I'm going
bad?
to have to go look.
Yeah, I don't mean bad, but freaky.
Okay.
Like she's got this grin on her
Weird.
that like her head's gonna detach, and like Terrence and Phillip or something.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Now, there's another pack that we should talk about, though. The Swift Claw pack.
All right.
These guys were the ones that stopped Pentex from expanding.
All right.
Now, this is when...
Like just full stop?
well,
Or they're keeping them from...
no. Full stop.
Okay.
So, Pentex brought in Endron to drill oil, like I said earlier. This is what brought the McCoy in.
Right.
But they were obviously like, okay, so there's oil here. So they were going all across to Amazon, just drilling until they found oil. Mm-hmm. Well, in the Swift Claw pack, they actually were the ones that were ahead of keeping them at bay. And eventually they just stopped. They stopped fighting Pentex, allowed them to keep drilling and doing what they were doing.
On purpose?
On purpose, because then around their facility, they set fire to a bunch of areas.
Oh.
And when they set fire to those areas, they would plant Pentex, like stuff they found in their raids, to make it look like Pentex did it.
I love it.
Now, Gogol actually wanted these guys dead because, hey, you're turning to the worm. You're creating nothing but chaos.
You're letting this happen. Why are you... Yeah, why are you
letting this happen? Like, what are you doing? Why aren't we defending? And they kept saying, wait. And right before they were about to be executed, they got news that the government shut Pentex down and made them leave the area because the evidence was found at the fires.
That's pretty brilliant.
And then they actually got the glory for that.
Super smart.
Gogol actually renounced it and gave them the glory for what they did.
I love that story. That's an awesome story, and I don't even know where I want to jump to from that because there's two ways we can go. You know, I like there's the Pentex issue. You know, that obviously, you know, you talk about Enron, and we know about the DFG, but you also had H&H, the Herald and Herald Mining Company, was brought down there, and you guys might remember that from your little dalliance with the Rite of Passage.
I was hoping he wasn't going to break that up.
Yeah, me
Same guys who
too.
found, but there it is. Right?
Yeah.
So there's a fun callback. I love how they kept that. But also, there's a Magadon lab down there, who are the researching local plant life to make new toxins and drugs. So you've got all that shit going down there. And again, we brought up that there is a regional board of directors, who I don't want to get into right now because we can easily do some stuff with subsidiaries and shit like that down the line, and I think that's a better spot for it. But there is the one I want to bring up because while I was looking, I'm like, this is just I want to talk about it. She's like, just for a second, and this is a member of the regional board. It's a Samuel Jehoshaphat Leindecker.
That's a saying.
Right, that's a name right there. That is a moniker.
Guy has a monocle, I bet.
You know, he doesn't because he began his career as a janitor.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah, right? See, this is the thing. He was a janitor who was sent to a temp assignment in the Toronto HQ. He was given the task of waxing the basement laboratory floors. He didn't have security clearance, but the guards just assumed that he did because why else would you be here? Like Pentex fucked up.
Okay.
You know, like a fucking clerical error that they sent this guy instead of someone with the clearance.
Wow.
Right? So he's just fucking some schlub janitor.
I have a feeling I see where this is going.
In the quote is, the guards let him in simply assuming that he was cleared. The Banes don't assume anything. So they find him the next morning. And the quote, they tried everything, but even high-powered stomach pumps could not get that thing out of him.
Oh,
This is not where I thought it was going.
And this thing is called Chembatch number 373, which got to be good friends with its new host.
Holy
of course.
shit.
This is like Alien.
Yeah, it told its host many things, special things, secret things about the Toronto executives.
Oh.
So Samuel's not above bribery, and soon he had a cushy job as an executive at a regional board.
Yep.
In Rio.
Yep. He's got some dirt on some people.
So they send him to the Amazon. And of course, the host and him don't know anything about the danger of the Gauro or the guerrilla warfare going down there.
They sent him down there and hope he'd die.
And Chembatch doesn't know anything about being an executive. So he has to pretend that he knows what he's doing most of the time and hopes that no one catches on.
That's funny.
Right?
It's kind of fucking cool.
Like he's kind of Venom at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
Really,
thinking.
Without like the powers, I would imagine.
Or maybe.
Some
level of
powers, yeah.
something.
But say he's Bane possessed. So
But
come on.
I love the idea that just fucking janitor Lux his Lux.
Yeah.
Lux.
That's not
his
luck.
way.
Oh, it's definitely not luck.
I just loved it. I was like, you know what? We'll bring it up later, I'm sure too. But I don't want to. I had to share that with you guys. Holy shit! Right?
That was cool.
That was great. But you know the other thing to bring up though, and we'll circle back around the Pentax thing for a minute because obviously we're going to talk some practical application. But is the you talk about how Gogol wanted Swiftclaw, how he wanted them, punished.
Yes.
And this brings me to the Ghost Raptors.
That's a cool name too. I love all these names.
First edition, man.
This is good shit.
Yeah.
So the Ghost Raptors are a pack that are out there in the Amazon.
This sounds like Macaulay though.
Well, you're incorrect.
Okay.
The scouting pack.
They follow this is it's rumored. I mean, they have a base in an abandoned Bastet domain, and they follow a Ahran known only as White Father. And this is a pack of 12 mixed breeds and tribes, and kinfolk who have come to follow them. And these are elite fucking warriors.
Oh.
Yeah, they were assigned a command of their own. They were an elite unit that was sent to wreak havoc behind enemy lines. They went into the bush and have since ignored every call and every order sent their way.
Oh.
What are they doing then?
As far as Gogol's concerned, they're going AWOL.
Oh. And he's not sending any packs to stop that?
Well, he
just said elite warriors, so even if they did.
he really wants to get them back.
Well, yeah, if they're elite warriors, I would too.
And if push comes to shove, sure, the hammer
He'll
will come
have
down.
to lead that war effort.
But he would really like to have them back. And interestingly, there's a character, Stargazer, in that pack called Thunder Tiger, who also is featured in Breathe Deeply.
Oh. Okay. So I'm seeing the connections.
Well, it's all in the Amazon.
I mean, obviously the one big connection there, but like.
But yeah.
It's a book we're going to have to dive into later.
It's a neat little book. But the Ghost Raptors have befriended an Incarna Penthesilea, who is the warrior spirit of the Amazon.
I almost wanted to say Pantalones.
I get that. And the pack itself follows Uctena, but they also serve Penthesilea, which gives them good relations with the locals, both human and Farah alike. So you've got Balaam and Macaulay flat out fucking covering for them.
Wow. So that makes them even harder to find.
Right. They say the White Father is possessed by Penthesilea on the regular, which also ties in because there are rumors that he's in the Raptors, someone, and so we assume, has become infected with a bane that now seeks to set himself up as a deity and be worshipped by other Garu.
Ooh.
Whether there's truth to that or not, that's the rumor. But it seems like that's maybe we're confused with Penthesilea, or maybe there's some treachery going on, or maybe take your pick.
Just makes sense on why they're AWOL.
Right? But yeah.
Yeah, it's a solid point.
And they should not come back. I mean, Bane possessed.
If it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
If White Father is possessed by, or is sometimes, or who knows the rules on that shit. But they do know that his true identity isn't really known. But the Raptors serve him like they would a god. Living, fighting, dying at his command. So it's a little crazy, but in truth...
But who are they fighting? That's the question.
Well, I mean, they're doing their jobs, ultimately.
Okay.
They're just not They're doing what they're doing.
They're just doing their job their
know.
way, just not under Gogol.
Yeah, they're not working for Gogol. They're working for Penthesilea, really.
Okay.
Which, as long as the same end goal's there, fine.
Yeah, should be.
And that's if the same end goal's there.
Well, of course, it does mention that, and this is interesting because, again, this is a first edition book, is that White Father has been exposed to so much toxic waste and radiation that he is dying, which will leave a power vacuum because no one really knows who's going to step up and take charge next. So, later on,
So many different implications there.
right? But I mean,
What
I think
happens in 5th edition?
who knows, and so I think it's worth bringing that up, that it's almost an extra faction. There's got to be a level of antagonism there where Gogol wants these guys brought in, they ain't doing that shit, so now we're not exactly friends.
Is the enemy of my enemy my friend? Could they be trusted? Or
Right, it brings up a lot of questions of difficult situations.
Jeez.
that's fucking cool.
Right, like it's an extra wrench to throw at your players when you're doing the Amazon.
So you have the Balam,
The Macaulay,
the Macaulay,
Pentex,
the Pentex,
the Ghost Raptors,
Ghost Raptors.
and let's not forget, Rio might have a leech or two,
Oh, I'm sure.
and there may be some leeches running around in the rainforest. We don't know. There's also an Anansi there. And I mean, this is bringing up in other books, so I don't actually have numbers, but allegedly, I mean, we know that there are very few Swara, that's the Were-Cheaters, of Bagheera, the Panthers, in
the
the
Amazon.
neighborhood. Yeah, it's not their native place, but they've come to the region. And then, we're confirmed for Anansi, but we don't have anything on numbers. So, like, there's some room there if you want to play the Farah game. There's shit there. You've got the idea of temples and ruins to explore, maybe lost fetishes or rites or something, or ghosts even, boog it out.
No, especially if you're saying Mayans and stuff. Yeah, I can see that.
Right?
Well, and obviously there's mages down there. There's just tons.
If you need some quarters, you pull them right out of your ear. This way you can call home and get more Garu.
Oh, they have payphones in the Amazon?
Just in Rio.
All right.
Boom. Look at that. Seamless.
Yeah, you got that.
That's how you put a mage in that game.
There you go. You
I
head
need
to Rio
quarters
with a
to go
payphone.
home. Let's get a mage.
What's this behind your ear?
Thanks.
It's a rabbit. It's a Lepix.
Shit. Yeah, try Book Lepix. That's available in the Storyteller's Vault, isn't it?
That it is.
Written by our friend C. Grant Rose.
With special thanks to
Well, me.
you.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Available
Jesus
now.
Christ. that was some shameless shit right there.
Oh,
A little bit.
Was.
I'm into it. That was funny. All right. And I think when you're running those games, though, because I mean, even the wild itself can be an antagonist.
Oh yeah.
Isn't there a book game in this too?
There's a couple. There's
a couple?
I didn't because we don't.
Well, right. But there's definitely a lot of story seeds in this book.
Absolutely.
Well, there's some story seeds in just what we've been talking about last hour.
Well, sure. But I'm actually curious if what they do with the Amazon come W5.
It will be interesting. I know, like, as of W20, they talk about how, various companies have kind of moved in looking for, like, holistic remedies for some of the rare plants, kind of like Megadon's doing. Although maybe they're altruistic. Probably not, because this is the world of darkness. Come on, get it together, people. But it's at least gotten more attention. I would say it's fair to say that the war is being won, even insofar as the Pentex is moving on. Like, there's other places we can fuck up. We don't need this shit. It's getting too much attention.
Right.
I can see it that way. Like, they really want this, but it's drawing too much attention.
Right? There's a lot of losses because of the war. It's ultimately not worth it. Because, I mean, that's what they're looking at is the bottom line. You look at the government attention. You look at all these other places coming in. There's lots of casualties on both sides, but I would largely call it's a winning operation for the Garu, insofar as Pentex is bailing out.
Well, and I go back to the geography for a quick second.
Yeah.
Because the main area for this war is Brazil, which is the largest country in South America. And it's just barely smaller than the United States. But it's also only like 40% of the population compared. Think about that for a few minutes.
I don't want to.
Yeah, me neither.
That's all that open land.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's great. And from
Right, and
for the Garu.
Right, which I can see, again, going back to Pentex drawing too much attention to themselves. They don't want that happening. And maybe that's why they started that way. Like, look, all this area, no one's going to ever be able to tell.
Well, again, and it's the rainforest, so it's important to Gaia.
Right.
And it's important for their goals to maybe get rid of. Mm-hmm. We talk about the rare plants and shit where they're making toxins. And,
right.
And, there's a lot of fertile ground there for them to manipulate and destroy because
The gauntlet has to be super thin there.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Not that most of the people there can do anything about it outside of like the Den Realms.
Right.
The 22 Balam.
And most of their Den realms got taken over.
Right. Yeah, that's something too, though. Like you're running a story that can be that you do like a riff on Predator. Your pack gets stuck, but wanders into a Balam's Den realm, and that's the story: is him fucking hunting you and you trying to get out because Bastet in its Den realm is a dangerous motherfucking thing.
Yes.
Very, very dangerous.
You can easily do a Predator riff on that.
Yeah, the little squint in your eye just there as you said that. I was like, oh shit.
You could do Forces of the Wild defending, like glens or particular.
Yes, all of it.
Yeah. And that's not to mention the first team threat. It's a great place to unleash the fury of a first team.
Oh yeah.
Because it's so remote and untamed that everyone can just kind of go ape. You're not worried about a fucking veil breach in the rainforest.
I just remember the story of the Black Frost Pack, and they specifically say they were slain by a hidden first team of Fomori.
Well, because initially they were just going into...
They stumbled upon the area, essentially, yeah.
And it was Pentex building, so they were just going to stop Pentex from building, but didn't know that there was a Fomori first team.
Right.
They didn't even know what a Fomori first team was.
Right. The specific word, hidden.
Oh, yeah. And then they get gunned down by all these freaking AKs with silver bullets.
Yeah, like a first team's no joke in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
They're well equipped. These are higher end trained Fomori and spirals when, often there are spirals that lead first teams.
Right.
These are the goddamn elite. This is the fucking G.I. Joe of,
Pentex.
yeah, private. Yeah.
Yeah. it really is. It's their private security.
Yep. Like cream of the crop. These are the ones
Right.
that this will fuck up a pack. I mean, you guys have never fought a first team.
Probably die if we did.
And when you do, I'm going to make it a nightmare.
Probably die.
I was going to say, yeah, it's going to be a fucking nightmare.
Danny's going
It
to die.
should be. But again, when you fight one, it's not going to be in the Amazon. It's going to be somewhere where they have to worry about cameras and witnesses and shit like that. So it's got to be more subtle. Imagine this in the fucking Amazon.
Where they don't care.
Right.
Nope, they just popped out of trees and
Gunned you
down.
this dude's got 2 flamethrowers. And, like a chain gun for his other 2 arms.
That's awesome.
Just that subtle word placement in there. A hidden
No, exactly.
first team of Fomori. Were they hiding in the jungle? Waiting? Were they fucking invisible because that's part of their powers? I don't fucking know.
I think they hollowed out trees and made little eye holes.
Popped up out of the ground like Vietnam.
I think 2 of them did that, and one of them for sure
Yeah.
cut open a tree and hollowed it out. Like a phone booth.
And then one was Predator.
Yeah, 2 little eye holes. He was just looking like this through the fucking tree.
They caught the Black Frost Pack by surprise.
Well.
They didn't stand a fucking chance at that point. Like I said, just that subtle word placement of hidden makes it a big deal.
Some devil's in the details, man. Absolutely.
Oh shit. That's fucking cool. I mean, it sucks, but that's cool.
I think something to factor in when you go, if you're going to do an Amazon thing, is, and I think you want, obviously, the environment to be a character.
Yes.
Talk about the wildlife, even the innocent shit, because you really want to set that scene. And I mean, most of us don't live in the goddamn jungle. So
This is also a jungle that could kill you.
Right.
There's poisonous toads. I mean, there's just crazy animals there.
Snakes, just fucking...
They're on a plane.
No, they're in a jungle, not a plane.
I had to.
I get it. I get it.
There's big spiders. I mean,
Yeah, it's already an inhospitable environment before you factor in the World of Darkness shit.
Right.
And also the temperature. You think about the climate.
Oh, that was
Humid,
it's
hot.
disgusting
Right.
and gross.
And like, I think you need to help focus on that to build that scene. Whatever you're wearing is probably too much already because you're not accustomed to this environment. But the way it's sticking to you,
oh, imagine being in Lupus. How
I don't-
hot you would be.
right? Like wolves aren't from here.
No.
This is I don't belong. He's even got a
And it's
razor.
not like you can cool off in the swamp over there. Like, no.
No,
Because
You
that
wouldn't
swamp
want
will kill
to.
you.
That's
I was
right.
gonna say, yeah, the swamp's probably going to kill you too.
might be a Macaulay in there.
Right. Wouldn't know until it killed you.
What about the Kindiru fish? You don't want any of that.
Huh?
That's the fish that swims up your pee stream and into your.
Ugh.
Fun. Don't lift your leg on that
Yeah,
swamp.
that's a real thing.
I know.
Yeah. I think those were in the rainforest. They are now. They are in the World of Darkness.
Sure.
They got like an extra row of fangs in the World of Darkness too.
Oh, fuck.
Because why not?
There's-
It's not
there's-
terrifying enough.
That's just one thing I liked reading, though, with the Macaulay, on how when the Garu found out that the Macaulay were raging against Endron, they were just like, I'm going to leave that alone. Like, they don't
take
want to
care of it.
mess with that.
That's fine.
Like, yeah, they got that covered.
No, I like what you said, though. Make the environment its own character.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to. I
I
mean,
mean,
it's the
there's
Amazon.
what was it saying? It was something about like just over 100,000 different species of insects alone.
Like, how do you wrap your head around that shit?
Right.
And I'm sure there's 100,000 different species of plants.
And
Probably.
here's something for you. Think about the sensory. I mean, we talk about a lupus. Think about the sensory overload from a city wolf.
Oh, absolute instant.
Regardless
overload.
of breed, that culture shock that everything is moving. I mean, you're used to a city. All the sights and sounds and smells and the activity finder. You're used to, but this is a different fucking thing.
The wild energies, just everything.
That's nuts.
Everything is a death trap and a nightmare. Also, there are death traps and nightmares,
And I'm sure you've YouTube like rainforest sounds. That shit ain't quiet.
which might be useful for when you run that game.
That's
Maybe having
actually a
some of
good
that in the
idea.
background.
There you go.
That's a cool idea. Shot them.
Yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. Run your rainforest sounds when you're running your game.
And maybe
Scare the shit out of them.
and yeah, maybe a little louder than normal sometimes. Maybe if
because
you're
it's closer than you thought. Yeah.
right, if you're in a position where you're in control of that actively during a game, maybe one of these helped you go to sleep 8 hours of it or whatever, you can just run it.
And like a thunderstorm rolls in.
Yeah, just
turn
boom,
that up.
Turn that up. Sometimes turn it down because shit is jumping off. It's going to be chaotic in terms of geography. It's such a foreign concept, it's such a foreign locale that you want to really hit it home. You have to sell it to get your players actually invested that much more.
Get the ambiance for sure.
Right, you have to hit it because otherwise, I don't know what the fuck you can't relate right now.
No.
To what, so you're going to sit there and go, okay, well, my character's in a jungle.
No, you shouldn't have
No.
that.
No, you want to make sure they make it as real as possible. They feel it. If you're at a home game, turn up the heat. Turn up the heat in the place you are. If you're around a table, play those sounds. Make it fucking hot and gross in the room. Just to help everybody get into the spirit of things.
That would suck so much. I could so see
But
you
that
doing
would
that.
help so much.
It would.
Because
No, I'm not
that
saying
would
it
definitely
wouldn't.
affect your players' thinking. It would definitely bring them into it more.
And it's in conjunction with the sounds too.
Right.
And again, maybe play them a little louder.
I like that a lot.
I'm having trouble concentrating with all this shit in the background. Exactly.
Yep.
And you're
Exactly.
sweating.
Exactly.
You're so fatigued. You're sweating. You can make bad decisions.
Yep.
Which is exactly what is happening all the time down there.
Just saying.
That's good. I like that.
Jesus.
That kind of sounds fun now, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I hate it, but like,
But,
oh,
like,
it's
that's
so
cool.
worth
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Makes it all more important to game in person.
Right? If you can do it, do it.
Right.
Maybe, and this is maybe less of a serious suggestion, but if you got like a little spray bottle, just miss the guys every now and then. Like, oh, look how humid it is. Psst, psst, psst.
Just boil a pot of water. Make it real humid in the room.
There you go. That's probably a more serious
Yeah,
version.
that's a better way to do
Yeah.
it. Instead of squirting me like I'm a cat.
I was going to say like a disobedient cat.
Yeah,
yes.
no, sorry. I'm not a were-jaguar.
You don't want to get the sheets messed up anyway. So that's why it's not a sincere suggestion. Is you want to get those beautiful Mr. Gone sheets wet.
That's true.
Or the books. I mean,
That
obviously.
too.
I don't know why that was the afterthought.
I mean, if you make those Mr. Gone sheets, make them out of cardstock, laminate them.
That's right. Oh, okay. Well, you don't want to laminate because you need to.
You can write on lamination.
Fine.
Dry erase marker.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Makes them easy to change.
So we don't do that, but
You
that's
should. Laminators are like $20 on Amazon. Come on.
yeah. But what about like stats and shit? This is not part of the show.
That's fine.
I mean, yeah, this could stay in, but this is look at where we've taken this.
Just get some good sheets.
Again, Mr.
Mr. Gone.
Only
yeah.
Mr. Gone.
See the link on our homepage.
And not some creep on Amazon.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, and if that guy's
You guys
listening-
heard that. Do not support that.
And if you happen to know where that guy lives, just saying,
Send him lots of hate mail.
send his address our way.
That too. Phone number.
I will distribute the shit out of that.
I will crank call him every hour on the hour.
If he's local, I might show up.
All right, we got a little careful, guys. Just saying.
Our lawyer's stepping in.
Daniel Tyson Esquire over here.
He's got his monocloud.
Oh shit, he does. Why do you have that?
to show how serious I am right now.
Well done.
All right. To make this more serious, Porter, if you ran an Amazon game,
Yeah.
give us something. What would you do? Like, where would you start it? Time frame first.
Oh, okay. Not long after Golgo has taken charge. Like if I was just doing like a standalone chronicle or something.
So very late 80s, almost 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, which big shock for me.
Right. I
Anyway.
mean, but still, that's the best time period.
Yeah, I think when he's freshly taken over, because you can deal with the transition of leadership or ways, this is how we're doing things now.
Yeah, easily established right off the bat.
Right. And, you can see the awkwardness of that transition. So whether you're on Golgo's side and helping him establish this new order, this new pecking order, this new way of doing things.
Or there's other people
There's
challenging.
still the hostility in there.
Right.
People aren't fully trusting Google yet.
Exactly. Maybe, some people are making moves on their own, maybe. So you have that to contend with. Things aren't so chummy. I mean, not that they're super chummy ultimately, but you have that extra added hostility. Maybe you can work alongside the Ghost Raptor pack until they fuck off. So you've got that, right? Maybe you develop a relationship with them or something to the point where when they fuck off and you still have a method of contacting them, and now you're kind of stuck in the middle. What do I do about this situation?
That's good.
That's a good one. I like that idea. I
know.
can see us being that part of it.
Yeah, he likes throwing us in the middle of two big things. Freezing. I said it.
Poignant silence.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yep. You did it to yourself, Tom.
He does that, though. I mean, come on. You know how he writes. He likes putting two big
Factions.
factions
There you
in
go.
between us, and we're the middle people all the time.
Yeah.
I do like to do that sometimes. I mean, it's true.
Well, it's
it
good. I
makes
mean, that
interesting
gives you the
stories. Yeah.
options. It gives your players the options. You go A or B. There you go. Or
Like,
see your way out and die.
it's crazy. But yeah, there's that stuff. So I think that would probably be the era, because again, lots of moving parts in terms of turmoil and shit you can get
So many
into.
moving parts.
Pentex gaining power. I mean, they don't have the full power yet, but
And I would probably steer clear of, but would totally want to, because again, you guys know me and how the kind of stories I like. Is I would probably lean, I would want to lean, but ultimately not lean to something like secret, like one of these ancient temples or whatever that holds a fetish that, hey, maybe these spirals got a hold of, or
an
a
old
third
tenant
faction
temple.
got a, yeah,
Mayan temple, something that has.
yeah. Because again, you know how I feel about lost knowledge and secret shit.
Oh yeah.
So
and there would definitely be some Actena temples down there.
yeah, I mean that could be fun to play with, and you could go just full on. You could go crazy.
Balam always poking at us.
So many different story seeds at one time.
You could run multiple chronicles on this.
Easily. I mean, you could go full Michael Bay. Just explosions and loud noises everywhere. And
Which I like. I mean, that would definitely, I don't know, I think it'd be fun.
No, it could be, and that's a place where you could kind of do it.
Terrifying.
Because, again, we talk about the remoteness and it's so far removed from civilization and from the norms that we know.
And you're down there for a tour.
Yeah, you could just leave this guy. Like, you don't have to, oh man, Jake the Metis is dead. What do we do? You just leave him. You could. It's just like the fucking jungle will take care of it.
I mean, that sucks to say, but you're right.
Well, I mean, we could spin that and go these spirals we just killed instead of like our buddy Jake the Metis. But either way, you don't got to worry about a news crew finding that shit.
Right.
You can just leave the bodies. Fuck it.
No cleanup necessary.
Take the cannoli in.
Delicious.
Get it from The Godfather. So there's a level of freedom in that too. You could just blow up this building. The cops are not going to show up.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot less of a concern.
Even
Right.
the government's not messing with the rainforest.
Right. Is there like a little village of indigenous people in that area? Oh, they saw young rhinos. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Yeah, who are they going to tell?
Right. What's going to happen? Whatever. Why, I saw the Wolfman kill 30 people. Yeah, you did. Do something about it. Channel 12's not coming to interview you.
No, they don't want to be down there as much as you.
Right? Like, not only do you have to, or do you not worry about it, that guy can live. Fuck it. He can tell the delirium version of that story for the rest of his life.
No,
Because
yeah.
it's not getting back around to be a problem for the nation.
You can even have a story where the indigenous people are helping you take out Pentex, because obviously they don't want him there either.
You could.
I love this. This is cool.
Right? I mean, you could do stories of maybe there's a pack, in one of the local wargs, or it's gone rogue, or maybe they're a pack of spirals pretending to be from a warg in another section of the, who knows? I mean, you shouldn't fall for that one. But if your pack's new enough or dumb enough or whatever,
You mean us?
I don't think you'll fall for that shit anymore.
No, but we almost did.
Yes, you kind of did, but that's not here or there.
Only one of us.
My point is that maybe, could do like you're looking for this lost group, this lost pack, and maybe like a murder mystery out of that somewhere in the woods. You find a little mass grave of where they were. Ooh. And so, like, now what?
Yeah.
Here,
What do you
let's-
do with this information?
Right. And let's add to the pot. Let's say you find that pack, the aces and eights, they're in the same org as you.
I like that.
They go missing and you find them in a mass grave with all of their shit. Right. See? That makes it makes a difference suddenly.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference that their stuff's there.
Yep. There's a fucking clave here in this mass grave with this dude. Who the fuck doesn't take a clave?
Wow, so much speculation.
Right?
Holy crap.
I don't have an end to that story, but there
No,
it is. There's the fucking,
That's a good story seed.
yeah. Left with their gear, their fetishes, there's some water bottles and shit. None of these supplies were taken.
That's all important stuff.
I mean, for basic survival
Right.
in a war front, yeah.
Not to a Macaulay.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But would a Macaulay even take the time to put them all in one grave? That's the
And-
thing.
and
Yeah,
that's the thing,
something
too.
took the time to do that. Oh, boy.
Which means it's something they want these bodies hidden.
Right.
At least for a while.
Yeah, how long have they been there?
See,
Yeah.
see, this is a potential. Again, top of my head, I don't have the answer, but I don't need to because we're
Because we're speculating, and that's
Yeah.
good. There's a good story seed right there. Now I kind of want to run that.
Again, I'm fucking terrified.
You're terrified at ice cream.
That's weird. I love ice cream.
That's why it terrifies you.
That's still very weird. Okay.
I don't know who you people are. This is weird. And that
I guess
Oddly enough,
we'll leave it up
is
to
how
ice
we've
cream.
chosen to end this episode.
I mean, we don't have to. If you've got anything else.
I mean,
There's a plenty to the Amazon, but how much can we keep circling?
Exactly. I mean, we've pretty much touched most everything.
Danny's used to that. Who said that? That was
mean.
oof.
You're still paying him back for that comment a couple weeks ago.
We'll say yes.
Okay. He's just not letting that go on you, Danny.
Nope.
I don't even remember how it started.
Doesn't even matter. It wasn't even on air.
I know, right?
I'm
That makes
just-
it worse.
Yeah, you're right.
I love you, buddy.
I bet you do.
Whose stomach is doing this? Been doing that for a while. Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yikes.
It's been for like the last 20 minutes, dude.
Well, guess what? We're ending the episode's over now.
Yeah,
Okay,
we got
fine.
it. So,
Good. I'm tired of taking shit.
you guys know the drill.
That's right. You know where to go. You know where to support us.
RageAcrossTheInternet.com.
.com.
You know, that's where our Discord is. That's where our store is. You know the drill. That's where the Ko-Fi is. You can sign up. If not, hey, spread the word. Good reviews, good word of mouth. Everything you can. Please and thank you. But that'll be it for now. So on behalf of Mr. Tommy Dixon, Mr. Daniel Tyson, and myself, we want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Keep your claws sharp and your helmet swivel. See ya. Ah.